Hi everyone, this is Deveva with Lady D's Traveling Tea Party, and I'm here again with Gabi.
Hi.
So today we have a special tea party, so it'll be a two-part. Gabi, so she's been coming once a week during the summer, and she had mentioned that she loves to bake, and that's one thing. So I love to host events and make things look really pretty, but when it comes to cooking and baking, I leave that to somebody else. So I was really excited that Gabi said that she does like to bake. So she decided that we decided that we'll have Gabi make some small mini cakes for our tea party and our tea tasting that we're going to have later. So one thing is that I was really impressed with Gabi that she usually makes all of her things from scratch, all of their baking goods, including pies, right? And all the fillings and all of those things. But what we decided to do is have boxed, like pre-mixed cake mix. And the reason why is that now with, not being able to go out as much and having to get all of these different ingredients, we thought that it would be a nice way to show the children like how easy it is to be able to just buy the box and just add a couple of ingredients that you probably already have at home, and that would be would that be?
In this case, we just need 1 cup of water, half a cup of vegetable oil, and 3 eggs.
Yeah, so those are things that you would already have at home. So when your parents go to the grocery store, they just need to pick up one box from that one aisle in the grocery store, not have to worry about going back and forth more than it's needed, right, in the grocery store. So we're going to get started. So instead of saying we, Gabi's going to get started. All right, so we'll on to the next step.
So we are going to be making, this is cake mix. So I just preheated the oven to 350. So now we are just pour the cake mix in.
And what flavor is it?
This is just gonna be French vanilla.
Okay, perfect.
So now we're gonna need to add 1 cup of water.
Okay.
And then now half a cup of vegetable oil.
So you pre-measured that out?
Yes.
Okay.
And now 3 eggs.
Okay.
And we have to make sure that there's no shells.
Okay. And what do you do if a shell does fall in?
Then I would just get this part and then just try and scoop it out.
Yeah, I always find that amazing that works. It's like a magnet to it because nothing else works.
Oh gosh, I know. Or just pick it up.
Yeah, if it's a large piece, it's easy to do.
So now we are going. So I have this mixer, and we're just gonna stir it. And it's already turning to look like cake. It's done.
Okay.
So
just real quick, how do you know when it's done?
So make sure that there's no lumps. Oh wait, here's some.
You want to get the spatula and get the sides a little bit, you think?
Yes.
Okay. Where do we put that?
Okay. And then so now I can put it like here.
You can lean it against that egg carton too.
Okay, so right now, since I don't want anything to get dirty, I'm gonna take the bowl with me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, so there's a button to eject. It's a little hard. And then now we're gonna bring this back. Just gonna put this down. Now we pour it into the cupcake mold.
So what have you decided today to choose what molds?
So I decided to do just classic circles, and then I found these little heart things.
Very cute.
And I love to use these ones. They're like little cupcakes. So yeah, I love to use those.
It's cute. And they also kind of look like crowns, is what I initially thought they were. Okay.
And now we just pour it in carefully though.
So do you usually just use one hand for this? You're comfortable?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then okay. And it's okay if the countertop gets a little messy because we'll get to clean that off at the end. So you're good. Well, that's a good way. I didn't even think about that, to have the spatula on the other end to pick up what drops. And I know I asked you to put gloves on, so the grip may not be as strong. So
now we're gonna go to the other side.
And the box said how many?
24 cupcakes.
Okay.
Mini cakes.
Yeah, and we are using cupcake holders, but we're making these into cakes so that we can have with our tea. And we're not going to use icing because we don't want it to be as sweet, because the tea we're gonna have is from Crafting Tea, and it's the Princess Peach, so it'll have a lot of fruit flavors in it. So you don't want the cupcake sweetness to overpower the tea.
Okay. So right now we filled them up all the way, and so I am cleaning up the edges because it is okay if you spill it. You just need to make sure that you pick it all up. So the reason why I'm cleaning it up is because I'm just cleaning it up so it doesn't burn. And so, because if it burns, then it's not, like for the cupcakes right here, then it's just to make sure that they don't burn. So yeah, so you just don't want it to burn. And so I filled them up halfway, and so they don't overflow. Because if they overflow, then it can just like make your oven really dirty, and then it'll take a while to clean up. And and now we're about to put them in the oven. And it's okay if you got them on the counter, because you can just clean it up. So now we are gonna, and always have parent supervision when you are putting something in the oven, or just have a parent do it. Okay. And now, just gonna put it in here. And we're gonna have to put it for 12 to 17 minutes.
Okay, so what time is it now, just so that we can...
12. So at 12:24.
24, and then we can put an alarm on your cell phone too,
Right. Okay.
Because myself, with not really cooking that much, I still haven't figured out how to put the timer on my stove.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gabby, we will come back and see how the baking's done, and then we're gonna let it cool down, and then we will set up for our tea party and tea tasting. Okay? All right, we'll see you soon.
Bye. So, do I talk?
Uh-huh.
So right now we let them cool down for about like 10 to 15 minutes. Just be careful that the pan is not hot. So I'm just putting them where we are gonna display them.
So try not to put all out right now so you can have the different shapes. Because what are we gonna eat this with?
Some tea and some bread.
Yeah.
I know that one.
So these are two types of pans. What can you share? What's the difference with the red one and the...
The red one is a silicone. So you can just pop them out like that. And then these ones, you have to put the liner so it would be easier to take out.
Those came out really nice.
Okay, that one stuck.
And then, so the traditional one is the tin, and you would put a liner or a little bit of, if it's not a cupcake, a little bit of butter or something like that.
Yeah, let's try this. These
And
ones
it's
are
okay.
cracked.
They're just a little bit like that.
Hot.
Okay, so I think that's enough for the tray, right? And then we'll save the rest for later. You can take some home. All right, so now we're gonna set up for the tea party. Okay.
Here are all
Very nice. Good job. So there'll be the little tea cakes. Perfect. Yeah. So we're on. Okay, so we'll wait a couple of minutes and get started. So we have everything, right?
Yes.
We have the sugar, tea, teacups.
We don't need milk, right?
Did you want to try it with milk? Okay. All right, and we have the tea over here and the jam.
The cupcakes.
All right, the cupcakes, the most important, the little mini cakes.
Yes.
So do you want to scoot in just a little bit to the left? There you go. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. We're kind of doing an impromptu tea party today, and it's really a tea tasting. So with Gabi, it's Thursday, so she usually joins us on Thursday.
Right.
So one thing that we had talked about, you know, different things of things we like to do, and one of those, so I think if you've been following this page, you know that I love to host tea parties and make things look pretty, but I'll always leave it to someone else to do the cooking and the baking. So, hi Art of Hats, how are you? Hi Elena. So Elena makes hats. She's a milliner.
Oh.
Yeah, so she makes fascinators and hats. So this is Gabi.
Hi.
So what were we talking about?
About
The
the
baking. So then that's when Gabi had mentioned that she loves to bake. So we decided that today that she was going to bake something at the house. So we did pre-record that. So we will put that all together and have it on her YouTube channel. So she did everything, right? You brought everything. She brought all of the ingredients, the pans, what else? The oil,
The eggs.
eggs. So all I had to do was provide the oven, right? A good company and recording you. So they are ready. So we don't have icing today because they're going to be mini cakes, and the mini cakes. What was I going to say? Usually cupcakes obviously would have icing, but since our tea today is peach tea and it's very sweet, and we're also going to try a bread that is Bolivian ingredients, and we'll go into that later. And then we have some peach preserve that is extremely sweet, so we didn't want to overpower it with too much of a sugar flavor. So we'll get started. Why don't we go ahead and talk about the tea, and then you can talk about your baking.
Yes.
Because I know we haven't had lunch yet, so I know we want to dive into the mini cakes. But real quick, so our tea tasting today, and I had mentioned that Crafting Tea, I had ordered 2 teas from them. And one of the reasons that they really caught my eye, I found them on Instagram, was because this is a mother and son tea company. So mom makes all of the tea blends, and they're based around the, that's okay. Is it going to keep on ringing?
No.
No, that's okay.
It's going to stay for a little while.
It is? Okay.
My friend.
Oh, okay. Do you want to turn it off then?
Yeah.
Okay. We forgot to turn our cell phone.
If it's with friends,
You'll just have her call. Okay. So just keep on talking about, let's see, the peach tea. So the peach tea, so what it is that their blends, she will base them on different characters or TV show characters of her son that are her favorite ones, or video games. So I thought this was really cute. This one is called Princess Peach from the Mario Brothers. So it has black tea, papaya, apricot, peach pieces, blackberry leaves, calendula, sunflower petal, natural flavors, made, and it says made with love. Can you take her off speaker so you can talk? Okay, sorry. And then I wanted to quickly show you, if you want to go down the hall, if you want to talk to her. And this is what it looks like, the different pieces. And in here, and this is for the children to see, these little pieces right here, it's hard to see, but this is dried peach. So that's what the blend is. So we went ahead and made the tea. So this is a black tea, and it has, it's caffeinated. So that's what we have, and then Gabby should be back in a minute. Let's see, my tea set today is part of my peach florals that I have. And these are really pretty. These are from France. I don't know what the brand is, but these are really pretty. And these are part of our vintage sets that we usually have for our adult tea parties. And this one here, this is a Regal, from the Regal brand. So there, and it has blues. And also the same dessert. So I just finished talking about the blends of the tea that we have. And so we have our spoon, and I have the strainer. So I'll put yours on there. Okay, you just want to put your napkin on your lap. So as we're drinking the tea, I don't know if you want, let's try it first without the sugar, and then if you want to add it after. So let me pour yours.
Okay.
Let's get it right here.
It looks really good. It looks like a peach orange color.
And what were you mentioning about the smell before?
Oh, it smells so good.
Yeah, what does it smell like? So while the
like
tea was brewing. Mm-hmm.
It smells really good.
Yeah, so my kitchen's behind us, and as you can see, it's open to the dining room area, and we could smell it. Well, we can still smell it, right? Like throughout. So if you wanted to taste that, and then we'll, excuse me. It's hot. You can definitely taste the peach. Yeah, and so it may be a little bit stronger for you because this is the first black tea that we're trying together. So you can taste it, right? It's a little bit of a stronger taste. So if you wanted to add a little milk, if you want to add 1 sugar, do you think you want to add a little milk to that?
I'll try it just with the
The sugar? Okay. All right. So as we're drinking our tea, I'll go ahead and describe the, well, let's go ahead and start with your cupcakes so that you can kind of nibble and drink. So what do we have here today?
So these 4 right here are just the classic circle ones. And this one is also just the classic. But these 3 right here are hearts, and then these 2 right here are just like cupcakes. They're in the shape of a cupcake.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
they look really good.
So we'll always, our teacup, we'll put it to the right. And then which one would you like to have?
This one.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Gabi, for making those. I'm really excited to be having that. It's actually the first time, well, not the first time, but I mean, we've had little snacks together, right? Apart from the tea. So next, so let me talk about this Bolivian bread, the recipe, and it has cheese on top. It's good, right? Nice and fluffy. So my parents, so I was born in England. I came to United States when I was 11, but my parents are from Bolivia and from a city named Cochabamba. They're both from there. And then they both came here, met here, and we went to England and then came back. Well, my mom came back here from after leaving the States to go to England and come back. So growing up, I have mentioned before that tea time has always been part of, my mom and my upbringing. And it's for everything, kind of like morning, after lunch, and evening. And there's similarities. So in Bolivia, tea is also a big part of the meals during the day, especially at dinner time. So usually you wake up really early, you have your breakfast. Lunch is actually 3 courses. So you'll have your salad, soup, main entree, and then some sort of dessert. So that's almost like what we have as dinner here. That's what we have for lunch. And the reason why is because in the evenings you would go to sleep pretty early since you're waking up really early. So most people will just have some tea with bread, and one of them is this, it's like a salty bread. It's not sweet. And so my mom, she has several friends that love to bake and cook. And there's actually a lot of Bolivian restaurants in this Northern Virginia area. So she gave me some. And since we're in the peach season, her friend baked these. And also these peach preserve. I think it's with nectarine also. And I love the combination of them. So think of this so in England, we have the scones that are really dry. And if it doesn't have some sort of filling or blended with something else. Hi, Sophie. Sophie.
Hi.
I'm hoping that you're with the girls. I'm actually here with Gabi. She's been joining me over the summer. But just real quick, Sophie and I went to high school together. Yeah, actually, was it middle school? I think we started middle school together. But yeah, so we've known each other. She has 2 daughters. I think her youngest, you're 10. I think your youngest is also 10, right? And she's in Girl Scouts. And that's who I did the virtual Girl Scout tea party with. And we had the llama theme. Yeah. So this is comparable to what a scone would be. Just a lot more dry, more bland. And then you definitely would add the preserve because that's where you'll get the flavor. So I did tell Gabi ahead of time that there isn't much flavor to this, that it is dry. And if it didn't have the cheese on top, which, it's an option to have, it would have broken in half a lot easier. So I just wanted Gabi to try it because your parents are from Ecuador, right? Nicaragua.
And Colombia.
Nicaragua and Colombia. Your mom's from Nicaragua and your dad's from Colombia, right?
Right.
So, every country in Latin America has their versions of empanadas and breads, but sometimes we'll call it different things. But sometimes when you taste it, you're like, oh, yeah, we call that empanada, or we call that, there's another word. Yeah, so this is kind of hard to put on. But I just wanted you to try that. And if you want more, you can, but at least you've tried it, right? But so this is really nice. I love it when my mom's like, oh, so-and-so made this, or she made, some sort of It's called a peach drink, and it's called Mogonchichi, I think is the name. Hi, Linda. So Linda always joins us, and I've met her in person. She's come to some of my pop-up events at Rachel's place. How are you doing, Linda? Hope all is well with you. She says, hi, Gabi.
Hi.
So I'm going to try some of this.
To me, the bread actually isn't that. To me, it has a flavor.
Really?
I feel like I've had this type of bread before.
You probably
just by
have.
itself.
Well, I had mentioned to Gabi that growing up, my mom wouldn't really have the preserve or jam, and she would always eat it just the bread. And I don't really like dry bread. I've always liked moist or extremely fluffy bread. And I would say, no, I don't want, the bread because it's too dry. But then now that she's been saying, oh, you need to have it with the preserves, I'm like, oh, that's like the same version as a scone. So I do like it. So by itself, I unless it's just fresh out of the oven, it's a lot more that it's not dry, it's moist, I'll have it. But since I don't bake, the likelihood of it coming fresh out the oven is not going to happen. Yes, I'm glad that you're able to connect, Linda. And hopefully we'll get to see each other soon. I'm not sure if you have thought about coming to the Miss Fisher Murder Mystery Tea that is in September, sorry. That we have planned at Eldon Street, and it is still on for right now, but we'll see how things go. Maybe we'll have to push it back further, but we'll see. I think we're going to end up having it again in the evening, but it will be outside if weather permitting. So back to this. So I'm going to try, since I had the preserve with the peach.
This is good.
You like it? Oh, good. So I'll tell my mom to bring some more so I can give to you next Thursday. So if you had missed it, we're actually drinking Princess Peach from Crafting Tea. So this is a company from Austin, Texas. This is mother, and then her son is the inspiration for the different cartoon characters and gaming characters. So that's why Princess Peach is from Mario Brothers. And you definitely, as we had said before, you can smell the peaches, like the aromas all over. It's my kitchen in the back. And also
it smells really good with that mixed in.
Oh, with this? Yeah, or the preserves, or the blend.
Just both.
Everything, right? And Gabi, she baked some cupcakes for us, or mini cakes. I'm going to try the heart. And we did pre-record the baking so that you can share that with your children. And she did everything. She brought all of the supplies, and the only thing I had to do was hold the cell phone and provide my oven to bake it in. So that's what we have going on. But it's taken down for the time, can't it? Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to Rachel. We've kind of, trying to figure out if we're going to still have it. The strainer. So let's see. I think that's it for today. We'll have the recording. So I did want to announce, and it was just confirmed last night. So we have some exciting news. We're going to have some special guests next week. We're going to have some special guests next week, and that is going to be, do you want to tell them?
No, you tell them.
You want me to tell them? Okay. So I posted on Instagram, and I waited to put it on Facebook, but apart from tea, does anyone know? I know. She said, it's such a blessing to have Gabi to enjoy tea with. Yes, it is. We get to have fun on Thursdays. So, what was I saying?
About the surprise.
Oh, yes. So surprise. So apart from tea, there is a certain animal that I'm obsessed with and I love. There's actually two, because they're two personalities, but they are in the same family. So it is alpacas, right? I love llamas and alpacas, and it turns out there is a lady that's local, and I have done some events, and I visited. If you've followed me in Fredericksburg, there is a farm. It's called Wildwood Alpaca Farm, but they're a working farm, so it's not really a petting zoo, and they don't really attend that many events or things like that, like because they work it for the fiber. You know, they raise alpacas, they sell them, they enter them in competitions, so you can just leave it here on the side. So that's okay.
Okay.
And then what was I saying? So it's really nice to go visit them. You just have to let them know ahead of time, so that they, can be just prepared if you're going to go over and anticipate your arrival. But there is a company, and someone actually tagged me, one of my friends on Facebook. So through the years, I'll get tags from friends that if they see something that's tea related or alpaca or llamas, they'll tag my name. And I happened to see a couple of weeks ago, it's a company name that's local to the DMV area, and they're called My Pet Alpaca. And they are 2 alpacas, and they're juniors, so they're still like in their teenage years, I guess you would say. And so the owner is from Peru. And so growing up in Peru, alpacas they've had as pets, or just like in Bolivia, we have a lot of mountains, so a lot of alpacas are kind of free. They live on the mountains because there's cooler weather and it's colder on the mountains, so that's the climate that they prefer. So she has 2 junior alpacas. One is white, and on the Instagram picture that you'll see, it's very similar in color and size as the one that's in the picture, but the one in the picture is from the alpaca farm. And the name of the first one is called Pisco. And Pisco is a very popular drink from Peru, and it's a cream color. So I think that's why she called it Pisco. And the second one is called instead of Chewbacca, like Star Wars, it's called Chewpaca. Isn't that cute? Yeah. And then the reason for looking at the pictures is because it's brown, spotted, and black, so it's the same kind of colors as Chewbacca. So they'll be coming to my house, to my backyard, in the afternoon. So what we're trying to have is, that's exactly, Linda, you're right. Wildwood Alpaca Farm, they are in Fredericksburg, and they're at the fairs, and that's where I met them too, at a fairy festival. That's exactly where that picture was taken. But so they're gonna come next Thursday. I arranged it so, I'm sorry, not next Thursday, in 2 Thursdays. Sorry about that. Yeah. We did want it for next Thursday, but they were booked. So they just started this summer, and they've been getting a lot of business because people are wanting them for their birthday parties, or play dates, because they can do 30 minutes or an hour.
I would love to have an alpaca on my birthday party.
I know, me too. And the only problem is my birthday's in January, so I'm always limited on things that I can do outside. So trust me, I was contemplating the idea, trying to figure out how I could get an alpaca. But for now, so I said, I'm going to take advantage that I have more time and that you're coming. So in 2 Thursdays, we are definitely going to have an alpaca llama tea party. So the 2, Chewbacca and Pisco, are going to be joining us, and we'll see how it goes. But definitely we will do a live recording, and I will put the information up, but it will probably be from 1 to 1:30, and then we're going to have just the kids kind of had some free play for the last 30 minutes. So, that's what the exciting news is. So I apologize. It's not next Thursday. It's in 2 Thursdays. So I think that's the 30th, if I'm not mistaken, before August starts, which I can't believe. We're already talking about August. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Linda says, have a great birthday. So Gabby's birthday is in September, right? The 28th. So, yeah, so it'll be an early birthday party for you. Right, but you can have them again, go to your house, but we'll start the
that.
I know, we'll start the festivities early. Usually it's 1 month, right? But maybe we'll do it as a 2-month celebration. Okay.
Yeah, well, it would be 1 month and no, yeah, I guess it is 2 months.
Kind of like a little bit over 2 months. But usually that's myself and other people like, oh, it's January. It's like my birthday month. So that's why I was saying that. So, all right. Well, we hope that you enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next Thursday. We're still trying to figure if we're going to do a live recording or I know we still need to do Peter Rabbit and Friends. Oh, they have a half birthday. That's true. Usually I think that's at the 6-month mark, but you know, it's okay.
Late half birthday.
Yeah, a quarter birthday maybe, or a third birthday, 1/3. A third, yeah. So, all right. So I hope you enjoy, like I had said, the rest of your week, and we will see you soon. All right, take care. Bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.